This January was just full with updates, fixes, Switch 2 releases, game drops, reveals, etc.
And whoo-wee, what a year January was.
One could even say that Nintendo dropped all of this information onto us because they didn't have any plans to do a Nintendo Direct in February. We're getting a partner showcase, aren't we? Even industry insider Nate the Hate thinks so. Personally, I enjoyed him the most when he was just a musician. So let's go over January and see what Nintendo actually offered us. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Totter, and I do videos mainly covering Nintendo. If you enjoy that kind of content, subscribe to my channel. The first thing we got as any sort of Nintendo news this month was something minor, although really cool for fitness game enthusiasts like myself. Fitness Boxing 3 got a Persona 5 Royal DLC. It released on the 8th of January 2026 and came with some all-time classics from the game. These were Wake up, get out there, the intro to the original Persona 5, Life Will Change, the song that plays when you're almost done with a dungeon, I believe, the song that plays in Maruki's Palace on the Day of Fates, the final day of combat in the game, Rivers in the Desert, and of course, Last Surprise. Which will be a surprise if you couldn't see it coming. But we get No Beneath the Mask, which is actually my personal favorite. I am aware that the song is way too slow and melancholic, but Smash got around that, but alas, the developers chose not to add this track. This is just the start of the Persona announcement this year, as the series celebrates its 30th anniversary. Now that I think about it, a lot of franchises seem to have an anniversary this year. Atlus also launched the official Persona 30th anniversary website. We even got a trailer. There is an English version of this page on Saga's local site if anybody is interested. Pokemon kicked off its 30th anniversary with revealing its 30th anniversary logo. The original red and green came out in Japan on the 27th of February 1991, which you may know is Pokemon Day. Gen 10 this year, everybody! For Pokemon's 20th anniversary, we got Sun and Moon, which are really quality titles for the 3DS in my opinion. They look like games straight out of the Pokemon anime. And graphically, in my personal opinion, look incredible for the 3DS. There is it, I said it, Game Freak did a quality title, and it's Sun and Moon, the game full with cutscenes. There are rumors that McDonald's has a Pokemon trading card game promo lined up in the US later this year. The Nintendo year in review was delayed to January since the higher-ups decided that it's better to include December play data as well, unlike some other companies. Spotify. What was your personal year in review and your most played title, by the way? Tell me in the comments. I even made 2 videos about this topic. Go check them out. This year's event was so much better in my opinion, and I am glad that Nintendo pushed it to January. You could see all of your previous year stats as well. The general reception was that it felt like a send-off to the original Switch. It seems some players even got an error message even when they turned on the right settings for Nintendo to collect your oh-so-valuable data. And other glitches in the Matrix were also reported with people not giving permission, but still receiving their year in review. Privacy was just thrown out the window, I suppose. Although the gameplay time that Nintendo reported with these users wasn't their real time spent with the games. Yet again, the titles were the correct ones. This month, we also got our first female Nintendo president. Following Doug Bowser's retirement from the position of Nintendo of America, it was announced that he will be succeeded by Devin Pitchard, a longtime Nintendo of America executive and the subsidiary's first female president. Pitchard joined Nintendo all the way back in 2006. That's 20 years ago, by the way, when actually Reggie Fils-Aimé got his position as president, following Tatsumi Kimishima. I'm sure that his body was ready to take that position. Of president of Nintendo of America, of course. And now look at Devin Pitchard. She is the new president of America. I wish. When will Donald Trump get a heart attack? She's a well-educated woman, by the way. She has a doctorate in law. And look, she's even a Pikmin fan! How cool is that? Or this could be like the only Nintendo plush they had on the day of the photo shoot lying around. But I have my doubts. We cannot overlook the fact that this was also the month where Nintendo had some drama surrounding if they actually used AI-generated images for promoting their new products. The short version of the story is that no, they didn't. Some products might have been actually photoshopped in, and the actors and actresses probably used placeholders, which explains why it looks so awkward and uncomfortable in the image. Mario Tennis Fever received an overview trailer this month. The game comes out on February 12th, and the only thing you have to know is that Baby Waluigi is a real thing and is coming to Switch 2, everybody! It's literally the most replayed section of the video. Look! I really don't care about the Mario Sports titles. I mean, this one looks fine though. I'm still not gonna play it. Also, Game Share for the win! Yippee! I love Game Share. Something really odd happened this month as well. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance came out on the Nintendo GameCube Online Classics. The announcement was only on the Nintendo of Japan YouTube channel. I actually have a theory why that happened. Since the holidays were just a few days back, and knowing full well how Japan views its working culture and how it praises overworking yourself to death, it makes sense why this trailer came out in Japan early. People in the West just have this, well, decent amount of self-respect and self-love and really don't prefer working on Christmas and on the holidays. The soundtrack to this game actually also came out on Nintendo Music the same day the game dropped on NSO. Yikes, January was also when we got the announcement of these horrible Joy-Con controllers. These are the Switch 2's first set of new Joy-Con colors, by the way. And the choice of color is nice, that's for sure. Yet, I would like to actually see that color as well, you know, when I'm playing a game. These Joy-Cons are so controversial because they differ in the slightest way from the original ones. And the color accents are barely noticeable when playing handheld. Only when you play in dock mode can you see more than just black with a tiny ring of color. Also, $100/euro for a differently colored ring is ludicrous. The music app that Nintendo has got some new additions, including the soundtracks to Phantom Hourglass, WarioWare Inc., Mega Micro Games, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, as I already stated. Pokemon revealed their first ever Lego sets. They look creepy, but yet again kind of cool, and a lot of people complained about the prices. Yet that itself shows that these people weren't the target audience for these sets. Lego enthusiasts stated online that these sets were actually on the cheaper side compared to the amount of money they had to give out for other more complex sets of other franchises. I am really sorry for you American Lego fans, but if your president continues on to be a toddler, you might not be able to buy Lego soon. Since Lego is, you know, a Danish brand. To be honest, I love Denmark so much. It has such green lands. Scalpers also got a hold on them before the sets were even launched, and they are now selling them for even higher than the retail prices. And people are buying these sets, the scalped ones. What? The original Switch Hulu app will get discontinued next month. Okay. Where is YouTube on Switch 2, Nintendo? And now we get to mid-January where all the juicy stuff happened. Starting of course with Animal Crossing's 3.0 update and its paid Switch 2 upgrade. $5/euro for just better visuals and a megaphone is way too much, but hey, at least we know that the megaphone works! I did a video about my first impressions on the update plus the Switch 2 edition, and I tried the megaphone out in different languages. Actually, I think I only tried it out in Japanese in that video.
but it works surprisingly well. It works in all languages. I'm not really sure what sort of black magic Nintendo used to create this feature, but it works decently well. As to the other additions exclusive to the 3.0 update, Resetti is back. We got a hotel that's run by Captain's family, some quality of life improvements were also added, and yeah, that's more or less it. The hotel is the star of the show here, because now our islands have a tourism industry. Each day, random tourists can be seen walking around the island and they have new bland dialogue. The hotel itself is just a demo for Happy Home Paradise in my opinion, but it is still fun. Resetti's reset service is way too expensive and I haven't used it at all since it was added. Also, DLSS is doing something real funky with the resolution. This was also when a special Animal Crossing theme was added to Tetris 99.
Yeah, a solid update overall.
With a newly made deal between Netflix and Sony Pictures Entertainment, we can now rest easily knowing that the Legend of Zelda movie will come to Netflix after its theatrical and physical run. So in 2028, I guess. I love how the movie is shaping up to be and I can't wait to watch it on the big screen. While we're still on the topic of Zelda, LEGO announced a new Zelda set, hinting towards maybe a remake of Ocarina of Time. The set itself features the final battle between Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time. BDSP is now fully playable on Switch 2 with, and I quote, "Previously identified issues have been resolved with an update. Congratulations BDSP fans, you can now play a game." January is also the month where investors got spooked because of the Switch 2's low performance during the holiday season. Okay.
Dynasty Worriars came out on Switch as well and people were amazed on how well it ran. But come on people, the Switch 2 isn't even that underpowered. I mean, come on, look at Scarlet and Violet and what the Switch 2 did to them. The games are fully enjoyable now. While on the topic of impressive releases, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate dropped on Switch 2 as well, with it actually breaking record numbers.
The game looks gorgeous with fans comparing it constantly to the PS5 version, which, fair, it is the Integrate version after all, which is the version exclusively made for the PS5. The only problem I had is that the game is 90 gigabytes. And it takes 40 minutes to download the whole package. And yeah, you have to download it because the physical release is just a game keycard. But yeah, I mean, I do believe that the new cartridges cap around 60 gigabytes, so there wasn't really a way to compress the game into a single cartridge. So yeah, digital media, I guess. The only noticeable visual disturbance is with Cloud's hair. It has this dithering effect, but you get used to it pretty quickly. Super Nintendo World fired its 5th birthday this month, and sometime after that we got the announcement that Pokémon will be joining Universal Studios Japan's theme park. Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties dropped a free demo. Go check it out and see if the game is for you or not.
Kensuke Tanabe and Hideki Kono announced their retirement. Good. Let young people have jobs. And now we get to the whole slew of updates that Nintendo just decided to drop on us day by day. Starting with a 16-year-old game that was re-released on Switch 2.
Donkey Kong Country Returns gets a free Switch 2 update and a free content update. The most important addition being Dixie Kong. She is back, everybody! Co-op was fixed as well. Now you, playing as the second player, won't fall through platforms anymore. We also get an extra speedy speedrun mode. The Switch 2 version gets enhanced visuals and faster loading times, which, thank God, the 3DS had faster loading times than the Switch version. There were also minor visual changes that just made the whole package way more complete. And it made me think that this should have been added with the game from day one, and not, you know, 1 year later.
Mario Kart World also got a free update. They added a whole new feature. They added team races to Knockout Tour when playing in a room during online play and wireless play. The devs also added Polish, the language. Following this, Bonanza got its fair bit of Polish as well. Some bugs and glitches were fixed and the maximum number of Mega Shards was increased in the Pokemon Legends ZA free update. And as it is standard with Game Freak, no polish was added.
Not long after these 4 updates, we got 2 Mario Direct style announcements. The first one was about Super Mario Bros. Wonder plus Meetup in Balabel Park. The update will arrive on Switch 2 in March of 2026. A lot of new multiplayer-centric features were showcased, but the most important takeaway was that Rosalina was added as a playable character to the game. Also, Mouse Mode was added for a mode called Co-Star in which you control a Luma, but only if one other player plays as Rosalina. 3 new amiibo were also announced. And the announcement of this disturbing talking flower came right after the video was over. Who in their right mind will buy this overpriced piece of plastic? A day or 2 after that, the Super Mario Movie Direct followed. In it, we got a new trailer featuring Yoshi! And also, it was announced that we will be getting the movie 3 days earlier. And no, it's not an April Fool's joke. This movie will come out on April 1st now. What struck me the most though is how the guy over at Illumination casually just stated they just now started post-production on the movie. With me being an audio engineer and with my experience with creating sound environments for animated short films, well, I am concerned about the audio engineers and the composers' mental health. I really hope that they aren't being rushed and that they get paid justly and fairly at the end.
Rocket League received Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive rendering enhancements.
Rocket League on Switch 2 now uses the best of both settings. Resolution is now locked at 1080p 60fps in dock mode. Dynamic resolution now targets 1080p at 60fps, but will still reduce resolution as needed to keep gameplay smooth in handheld mode. They updated the textures, they made them more high quality, added ambient occlusion, and higher resolution shadows. Thank you devs, very cool.
Kirby got its first update as well. It got Game Share. Oh, Game Share, my beloved.
A new game mode, Grand Prix, is now available for air ride matches in paddocks. In City Trial, you can now tilt the left stick down or press the down button to discard a copy ability without triggering your special. Balance adjustments have also been added for a lot of characters. This update made me feel so nostalgic to when we used to get Smash updates. This truly is a Sakurai game through and through.
And now to something massive that just came out of left field. Splatoon 3 received a whole massive chunk load of content. Well, it wasn't that big, but still it came out of left field. The update added health bars, something that wasn't there before. It added also a aura flow state to the game. It fixed a lot of bugs, glitches, etc. And it changed the meta. What? Where did that come from?
I'm not really a Splatoon fan and I won't be able to do this game enough justice, but just know that nobody expected something so massive to just be dropped on us. Like it's nothing. Nintendo be like, yeah, health bars, no biggie.
We also got an update to the Virtual Boy situation. It will release on the 17th of February. It will contain 7-foot frame. It will contain 7 games, with more to be added.
To play Virtual Boy games, you will need to grab the Virtual Boy accessory for your console. Either the standard one or the cardboard version. Considering the fact that you have to pay for the premium online subscription to even play these games, this is super scummy. But hey, you can now at least change the color of the visuals to either green, piss yellow, or white. This color change option won't actually be available at launch next month. It will be coming later this year.
This patch came on the 2 Switches, and it had a bit of a controversy surrounding how it looks on Switch 1. And a bit of controversy was there as well around the black bars that censor the more suggestive stuff. Personally, I experienced this game with a playthrough on YouTube. I loved it, but I'm not really into its gameplay. I just wanted to watch a cool animated movie.
Some of the Switch Online GameCube titles were leaked in a way. We're getting Metroid Prime 2 and I am hyped.
And finally, we got something massive, something huge. Gamies.
Tomodachi Life had a direct on January 29th, and it proved itself to be the better life sim in comparison to Animal Crossing. We get all that we ever hoped for and even more. An interesting thing about the directs is that there were actually several directs that differ in the various regions. The American direct was more concentrated on diversity, with its cast of characters even showcasing how the Miis can be gay now with Jess. The European version had more white people, and the Japanese one was just more or less just culturally appropriate for Japan, let's say. But yeah, overall, I love this direct, and I am glad that this game isn't $80 or even $70/euro.
What a year this month was, huh? February seems to have even more in store for us, with a partner showcase being just around the corner, and with Pokemon Day on the 27th. We will most definitely get Gen 10, and or more DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA, because Pokemon Legends ZA's DLC Mega Dimension felt lackluster. It felt like the first part of a larger picture. And it was just so mid, my guy. But yeah, what are your thoughts on January? Share them with me in the comments. And with that, それではまたね! Bye bye! This month I also received my GLPT N3 certificate results, and I passed. I have the N3 certificate in Japanese. It only brings me bragging rights, so I'm bragging. Check these videos!